For me, the weekly page is the most important. So today I'm going to set up a new weekly page for January of 2024, and I will walk you step by step through the process. So stay with me. Well, hi, I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today I am focused on January's weekly page. So if that is something that you think that you would like, please go ahead and give this video a like. A thumbs up really is the best compliment you can leave me. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. It is free, it does not cost you anything, but is a great help to my channel here. And turn those notification bells all the way on so that you do not miss any of our upcoming videos. Now with that out of the way, let's get to it. All right, as you can see here on my computer screen, I am using OneNote 365 on a PC, a Windows-based PC. I also use this OneNote on my iPad, which you probably saw in the thumbnail, and I also use it on my Android phone. One thing that I love about OneNote is it crosses all of those platforms, and you can use it on all of those devices, which I think is fantastic, okay? So for me, the weekly pages are really the workhorse in my planner. So today I wanted to take you step by step. Sometimes I know I copy from the month before, but people wanted to know exactly how I would set up my page, okay? So, as you see here on my screen, this is a notebook that I created for 2024. You see the background is this kind of green color. I have this landscape spiral here at the end, so it's as if the whole book, could turn on itself. And then I have a bunch of tabs across the top for links to things like my Google Calendar, my cleaning list, my monthly tasks, and I have a section down here for each of the week of the month. And on this side, I have all of the days of a particular month, okay? I did an entire video showing you how I created this notebook. I'll link it up above if you'd like to check that out first, and then come back and join us here. However you want to do it, it's up to you. This can always be added later if you want to go ahead and set up your week along with me, and then you can go back and add this in as a background. That works fine as well, okay? All right, so let's get started with designing our week. First of all, I want to show you what my favorite week in 2023 looked like. I've been tweaking this weekly planner page all year long, and I think I have finally gotten it down to something that I really, really, really like, okay? So you can see here that I have lots of boxes at the top to fill in important things like my top focus, the projects that I'm working on, and links to those projects. I keep a prayer list here for people that I am thinking about or want to reach out to or pray for. I have a weekly to-do section list that I can do here. That's what this long blank space is for. And then to get into some of my GTD kinds of concepts, I have a list of people that I might need to call or communicate with that week via text or email, things that I might be waiting on, and errands that I want to run and things that I need to buy. I like to kind of combine those two together because I live in a more rural location and I want to be able to group my errands and outings together, okay? Jumping over to the other page, I have my YouTube videos that I work on, what the video name is and what state of planning that might be in, whether it's planning, filming, editing, uploading, prepping, all of those kinds of things. And then down here I have Instagram and Facebook posts that I like to keep track of, my weekly house chores that I just kind of mark off as I'm doing them. And then here I have dinner plans for the day, and this section down here is for gratitude and weekly wins. All right, I have a section here for notes, and then across the very, very bottom of the page you see I have the week broken up, starting with Monday and going all the way across the page, and an upcoming section there too, again for GTD purposes, so that I can think forward about what is coming up. I don't like surprises. I don't like anything to sneak up on me. So if you're not familiar with GTD, it is David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, or GTD. I have an entire playlist linked on GTD. I will link that up above where I go through and explain the entire process of what GTD is and how to use OneNote to help you set up your own trusted organization system. Well, what I want to do now that I know what December looks like and what really worked for me, I want to go through and set that up in my new planner for January, but I want to show you step by step what those processes look like, okay? How I get it to look the way that it does, all right? So let's go back to 2024 to that blank planner page and we will get started, okay? All right, so here we are on that blank planner page, and you see here on my screen that I am currently in my notebook and icons page. So again, there's the notebook from last year. There's some of the icons that I created, okay? And what I want to do is I want to create a weekly page. So first thing I'm going to do is look at this graphic here, this notebook graphic, this green background with the spiral, and I can see here that it is still set as a graphic. It is not set as the background, okay? Which means I can copy it or I can move it around, all right? So I want to make sure that that is set. If it were set as the background, right down here in this menu, it says set as background. When I click on that, those little dashed and dotted lines go away. I can't move it or do anything to it. It's almost like locking it in place, okay? So right click there and set picture as background. I'm going to turn that off so that those little dashed and dotted lines come up and I know that I can then move this. All right, now I'm going to take my cursor up here and I'm going to press on the left mouse button and I am simply going to drag it across so I encompass everything that is part of that particular graphic, okay? Right clicking, copy that, and I am going to go down and let's just go ahead and start a January section. So I'm going to go up here to the plus for creating a new section, and I will type in January, like so, and I can change that color not to be pink. Let's make it, let's make it silver, okay? So we'll make that silver. And when you start a new section, you see it already creates an untitled page for you. So I am just going to call this my weekly template. Okay. And I'm going to go down here and click and paste that graphic in. Now, I really like it when my graphic includes my page title up here. So let's see if I can move that and get that to work. So again, I'm going to hold down the mouse key, click the whole thing to select the whole thing, and then at that point I can start moving it, and I want to move it so that the title of my page right there is included in this little layout, okay? So I kind of like that. Now, another thing that I like to do to keep it really clean is I like to delete the date and time that the page was created. So I'm simply going to highlight it and I'm going to cut that out. Same with the time. I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to cut that out, okay? Now, it's nice and clean for me. I like that. And once this is positioned correctly, I am then going to go in and set that picture as a background. Now this notebook page right here will not move, which is exactly what I want, okay? All right, so the first thing that you saw on the December notebook was that column at the very right-hand side that had the top 3 priorities, the projects that I was working on, and the prayer list, okay? So what I want to do on this page is I want to create that same look, okay? I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. The first thing that I want to do, though, is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to create a single column table. So I want 1 column, and I want, let's go 8 rows. I can always add rows if I want to, but just to get things started. So there is my first column, and I can put top focus or top 3 or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And then I can go down 1, 2, 3, leave those blank, and I can go down and label this next one of projects. And then I can jump down 1, 2, 3, and I will do prayers. Okay, so that basically is the same as the one that you saw in December. What's different? Well, the columns are a little bit wider, and I did table shading. So for example, I could choose this entire row and I could go down to table shading. My colors for January are gray and blue. So if I go down to table shading, you see I have all of these choices to choose from. I can even go to more colors down here and choose a whole spectrum of colors if I want to, but I'm going to keep it simple today, and I am just going to choose the table shading that is the blue color that is already on. Let me show you. It's already one of the colors in the group here. So it's this blue right here that I'm going to be using. Okay. All right. Now the dark print is hard to see. So let's make that white. And we'll do that back at our home menu and change the font color to white. That makes it a little bit easier to read. Okay, and we'll do that for prayers as well. Now you can also change your your font if you'd like. So let's say I want to go with Caveat, which is one of my favorites, and 11 point I think is okay, but I can change the size if I wanted to, make it 12 point. I can center it if I want to, like so it centers it within that cell. All right, and that looks pretty good to me. Let me go down here and add another column below that just to get me started, and I'm going to remove that table shading because I don't want that, so I can do no color, and that takes care of that. Okay, now if you are, let's say, somebody calls and they have another prayer request and you come down here to the bottom, all you need to do is hit the tab key and it will insert another place there. Or if you have another project that you want to do, you can go up here to insert the table feature and insert below, and that will give you another row there. Okay, so 3 of each usually works pretty good for me. Okay, all right. Now, the next thing on that December page, and let's go back and look at that, was my weekly to-dos. Okay, so again, you see that is a single column with multiple rows. So same process. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to table, insert a table. Let's do a single column, so 1, and let's do 3 rows there just to give us a place to get started. We'll say okay, and I can call this to-do list weekly goals, because that's a place I like to put the things that I'm working on for my goals there. Okay, and so everything doesn't look all blue and dark. Let's go ahead and do table shading on this one, but here I'm going to choose a gray color, dark but not too dark. For this, we want the same font that we have used over here. So let me show you quickly how to use the format painter. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to click the format painter, and then that picks up that little brush. And then when I come over here and I highlight that, you see it turns it to the exact same font size, color, style, everything. Okay. So that's really handy. I love the format painter brush. That works really, really well. Okay. All right, let's go and see what else was on that December page. The next thing is I always have a place, for a title, and we'll add that as we get to decorating the page. I'm just focusing on the columns and the boxes for right now. So this third set of boxes is communications, waiting on, and errands, and to buy. All right. So back to 2024. So up here, I need to create another column, single column. So I only need 1, but I'm going to need a lot of spaces for that. So let's go ahead and say 9 again. And that's going to put that there. And again, I can come in here and do communications, and come down a few spaces, and waiting on, and come down a few spaces, and errands / to buy. All right. And I'll do the same color shading. So, click in the row, hit the table shading, go back to that blue color that we were using, and so on and so on. Format Painter, I can come up here to the brush, pick it up and go over, and there's that. And that one, and that one, okay? Now, because that's white text, I better go ahead and do the shading or you're not gonna be able to see it. The thing that I like is once you've chosen your table shading color, it stays right there on the brush. So all you have to do is click shading and it will be right there for you. I like that, okay? All right, now again, I can adjust the width of these columns. I can make the container a little bit larger. I can copy, and drag the end of the container over, and that's how I make those larger. Okay, but what you'll notice is you'll start to see that they're kind of getting out of alliance here, all right? For some people, that's fine. They like to be able to have the individuality to move their boxes around. And let's go back to that 2023 planner. And again, you see they're at different heights and I was able to move them around. These are individual things. And then over here we have the table for YouTube and the table for meal plan. And that's okay that they're individual boxes. That works great. But sometimes they move around and sometimes that's a little frustrating. So I want to show you a different trick for how to get them all to stay lined up, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna create a table, and this time I'm gonna make that table 6 columns wide, and I'm going to make it 3 rows like so. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna highlight this entire table. I'm gonna right click and say cut. Then I'm gonna come into this cell and I'm gonna go down here to paste. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm embedding or nesting this table into a bigger table. Now, what's the purpose of that? It's going to keep things from moving around, okay? And it will keep all of the table things in place. So let's do that with all of them. So we will cut. I will come to this cell and I will paste. I will cut. And paste. Control V to paste, okay? Now you can see I have a table up here where everything is kind of lined up in order, okay? And I like that because, then I don't have to worry about things shifting around as I add graphics and that kind of thing because it's all in one container, all right? Okay, so the next one that I did, and we'll start that one in this cell. So I can go up here and I can do insert. The next one that we did was our YouTube things, and that was actually 2 columns wide and probably about 12 rows. I think that's a pretty big table. Okay. Let me make this container bigger so that I can spread things out. I want to save room for some notes over there. So this is usually my video title in here. I will put the video title up here at the top. And then here I will start with plan. And after I get it planned, I have to film it. And then I have to edit it. And then I have to upload it. And then I have to prep it, which means check it, make sure everything's right, add the description, all that kind of stuff. Release and comment. That means going back and checking comments and answering questions for people, okay? So there are lots of other little steps in between all of these steps, but basically that is the process that I go through, okay? So, and this is the place for the YouTube video. So I want this, let's go back and do that. I like to do the every other table shading kind of thing. So there we go. And then down here, also I want to shade this one in the gray and do this one in the gray. And this is where I talk about my Facebook and Instagram posts. Okay? And that's usually for the entire week. So here I will put Monday, and then what the post will be Tuesday, and what the post will be Wednesday, and what the post will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, I am not somebody that posts on Facebook and Instagram every single day, but if you would like to follow me over there, I will leave the links for you so that you can check that out, okay? Let's see. So that looks good. That will work. And then I did a meal plan. And again, that's a 2-column table. So insert 2 columns, and that needs to be 8. And say okay. And then we have the day and the meal, you know, the dinner plan. And again, it's Monday through Sunday. You get the idea. You don't need to watch me type all of the days of the week, okay? All right, and then let's see, the last one. Let's go back to 2023. I also have wins and gratitude there, okay? And then my little housekeeping icons. So if you just click outside of the box, you should be able to get a space there. And then I can go in and I can insert a second table. Again, I just need a 1-column table for this. And let's go 7. Okay, and this will be my wins and my gratitude. Okay, and again, I can make these wider. I can adjust all of this by making it wider, and I can play around with exactly what I want. I can do the format painting on all of these so that they look the same, and the shading and all of that. But you don't need to watch me do all of that. The concept is the same, all right? But I do want to grab those icons and put those in here as well. So let's go back to that in the year-long page. We had our notebooks and icons. And I have this set of icons that I made in PowerPoint. There is a video for that. I will link it up above. But this is actually 2 independent graphics here. So I'm going to click and then Control click on the other one to highlight both of them and copy those. And we will take them back to January. Over here, I'm going to paste on the side so that I do not mess up everything that I have going on. And then I will click and drag those into place where I want them to be. And again, because it's a graphic, I can manipulate the size and make it fit perfectly. Okay? All right, there we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's check December again. Again, I'm trying to go nice and slow so that you guys can follow me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have a section for notes, okay? Then I have a place down here at the bottom with 8 different things, one for each day of the week and a week upcoming. So let's go back to 2024. This can be my notes section, but usually I do a box for that, not an entire column graphic like this. So for now, I'm going to go to table and I am going to delete this column, and that gets rid of that. And then I can manipulate this and make all of these wider so that I can fill up my space. Okay? All right, but before we do all of that and make that fancy, we have basically everything we need there except for the notes section. So how do I get the notes section? I go up to my draw tool. I choose whatever color pen that I would like to use. And again, the drop-down menu with all of the various colors that are there. I kind of like this gray for the box. And then I will choose the thickness that I want. And so let's make it a medium thickness. And then I do insert shape. And I'm going to draw a box. And I'm going to draw that over here. Now, if I don't like the way this looks, I can click on my arrow key to select, or my selecting tool. And I can go back over here and click on the box. And you'll see when I right click, the pen properties comes up here. So pen properties, so I can choose a different color if I want. Maybe I want to see what the blue box looks like. I can see what it looks like if I make it thicker. I think I'm going to like the gray, just kind of leave it subtle. Colors. That's kind of a nice color. Let's choose that lighter gray. Okay. And we will leave that there. All right. And then to get the word notes in there, it simply is a text box. So I'll go out here on the side and I will type notes, and I can then format that however I want. I like Harrington for things like that. On the home menu, let's do it in that navy blue color that we've been using, and we'll make it bold, and we'll make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And I could put that in like that. All right. If I wanted to highlight that, I could. Let's give it a highlight. What color highlight? Oh, let's put the gray box behind it, just so it kind of picks up both of those colors. Okay. All right. So overall, that looks pretty good. Let's see. Now let's go down and do our days of the week. Okay. So again, I'm going to do put my mouse down here where I want the table to be, and then I'm going to go up here to insert table, and I know that I want it 8 columns across, one for each day of the week, and let's do an 8 by 8. All right, and that gives us this grid down here at the bottom, and then I do the exact same thing. Okay, I say Monday, and I tab over, and I do Tuesday, and I tab over, and so on and so on, okay? And then what I can do is I can take this text that's up here, and I, like that text, so maybe I want to do the formatting tool for that, so I'll highlight that, click the Format Painter, and then bring that Format Painter down here, and you see that it completes that formatting. So it changed the size, the color, the font, and the highlighting all with one stroke. All right. So I would do that for the entire thing, going across all the way over to the last box, which is upcoming. You could call it next week. You could call it whatever you wanted to call it. Okay. Okay, so you get the basic idea. Everything that I've created here is a table, and those are nested within another table. And again, I can modify the width of things as I need to. So I can play around with it and get it to look exactly the way I want it to look, okay? Now, let's see. The other thing that I always like to do, of course, is I like to create some cute little graphics to add in here to make it fun. So I'm going to go up here to my search button, and I'm going to type in January and see what comes up. I already have some freebies from DCP Digitals, so I'm going to click on that and see what's there. I like the blues. That's kind of a blue that I'm using. That might work. Of course, I like the grays because I am using gray. Let's see, what else is here? Let me make it a little bit smaller so you can see it. Oh, penguins. I love penguins. Okay, you know what? I think this may be enough for me for, the month of January to get started. So I'm going to click on this little fox. He's cute. I like this washi tape. So again, I'm going to hold down the Control key, and you see now that both of those are selected. I like this blue dressed penguin, so I'll select him also by holding down the Control key. I like this black January. I'll need some of these stickers, but not right now. Maybe this Hello January, since New Year's Day will be in there. And let's take that cute TV too. All right. So I have all of those selected. I am going to make a copy of those. I'm going to go back to my 2024 notebook, and I'm going to go out here on the side, and I'm going to paste all of these things in their random spots so that I can play around with them, okay? I can grab January and move it to where I'd like it on my page. Okay, I can put it up here at the top if I'd like, make that a little bit bigger. I also could cut it and I could put it in this top column if I want. Paste it in there. Okay, so you see how that kind of works. And that way it certainly would keep everything together, wouldn't it? All right, and then I can move this entire thing up if I want to, like so. I don't know, I kind of like it in and of itself. So let's cut that and we'll put it back up here by itself. Oops. Put it up there by itself so it kind of floats above that. Maybe it could hang down a little bit. That looks kind of nice. Okay. And you know, these other graphics I can put on here and play around with where I might want them to go. You know, maybe TV night, you know, it's Friday night or something like that. Okay. All right. So just to play around with those. Here's a Hello January. I do know that I think that first Monday actually is, you know, New Year's Day. So that might be a fun one to put there. And then let's grab this washi tape and we'll put it along the bottom of this box maybe and put our penguin there as well. Just to be cute. Okay. Now, you guys are probably looking at this screen going, yeah, blue and gray, we get it, Crystal, but look at your tabs on the side, okay? That simply is table shading. So that is a very easy fix. So what I need to do is look at my calendar, and I know that it starts on the 1st is a Monday. So I'm just gonna highlight the first 7 days of the week, and I am going to go in here to table shading again. And open up and let's see, we can start with gray maybe. No, let's start with blue so it pops a little bit more. So let's go back and do blue first. So we'll do blue and then we will skip. And when I look at my calendar, the next date will be the 16th. As a Monday. So come down to the 16th, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, table shading to make that blue. And then the last couple of days are the 29th, 30th, and 31st. Table shading for blue, okay? All right, and then I can go in here and do the grays. And the grays. Okay, now that looks a little better because it's a little bit more cohesive. I still like the black at the top. I know that my background back here is green, and I'm just going to try that and see if I like it. At the moment, it is not bothering me. All right. So basically at the moment we have 2 big tables on this page and an art box. Okay, the big table up here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 smaller tables in it, and the one down here simply is just a single, you know, a single table that has information in it, but there are no nested tables in there. All right. Now, some people think that this looks a little junky up here, so let me show you what you can do. You can highlight this entire thing here, and you can go up to table. And you can say hide borders. Now watch what happens when I do that. When I do hide borders, all of that disappears, okay? And so now I no longer have lines to write on. I'm not sure how many areas or spaces I have. I personally don't like that. I don't like it all that clean, okay? What I do like is I like for this one, you can see when I highlight it, I like it to have borders. So I'm going to click on that hide borders again, and those borders for just that column will come back. Same for this. That one will come back. This one will come back. Oops, let's do both of those. There we go. And there. And let's do this last one as well. Oops. I just want this table. My mouse is acting a little erratic today. That one, and then we'll do the wins and gratitude, okay? Now you see that I have all of these. They're perfectly lined up at the top. They're not going to move around. I can grab this entire table, minus these two little graphics right here, and I can move the whole thing off if I want to, okay? So that makes it really easy for me to rearrange pages if I want to. Maybe I want my days of the week at the top, and I want all of this at the bottom. I could do that. I could flip them very easily, okay? So that's one of the beauties of working within tables and being able to redesign your pages, all right? Okay, now that I've messed this all up, moving everything around, I'm going to step away from the camera for a few minutes and fix it back up the way that I want it, so I can show you how to quickly make pages for every day of the week, okay? All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay. I think I have it the way that I want it to look, okay? So you see here I've hidden my borders on all of these top areas here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did decide to put these in their own section so that they would not move around. So they simply are in a column cell there. So I think that's great. That will give me a nice smooth place to work. And again, if I click and drag this entire thing around, all of those will stay together. All right, I like that. It's a nice clean look. I'm liking the way that it's looking. Added a few stickers and some snowflakes back here for color. I think it looks great. Okay, now what I want to do next is I want to show you really quickly a way to add a title for each of these things. So I'm going to call this weekly. There we go. Now in the video where I showed you how to make these tabs across the top with the different titles in them, you'll notice up here that my week 1, my week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 do not have lines underneath of them. They are not links yet, okay? So I'm going to show you a trick today. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to highlight all 6 of those weeks. And I am going to right click and I am going to go down to link to pages, okay? Now what link to pages is going to do is it's going to make a page for each one of these cells, and it is going to make a link from this table here to that particular page, okay? And what I would like it to do is I would like each one of those pages to look exactly like this, okay? So before I do that, I am going to go up here and I am going to go up to Insert, and I'm going to go to Page Templates, and I am going to click on Page Templates at the bottom, and Page Templates will come up all the way over here on the side, and it says Save Current Page as a Template. When I click on that, it's going to say, what do you want to call it? And I am going to call it January Weekly, and it says set as default template for new pages in this section. Yes, that's what I want to do, and I want to save it. Okay, I get a warning message here that says if you do this, it will remove the current default template from this section. The only way to do it is to replace it. You sure you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. Okay, all right, so now again I'm going to go up here to weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right click, link to pages. Watch in my pages over here, and there you see week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now when I click on those, they should look exactly like this page. There's week 1. Only difference is it says week 1 up here at the top. There's week 2. There's week 3. There's week 4. there's week 5, and there's week 6. Okay, now I can still manipulate the things on this page. Just because it's a template, it's not like a PDF. If I want to move this fox, I can move that fox. I can delete that fox. I can bring him back. So all of those kinds of things work. All right. All right, so let's undo that and put him back where he belongs. I can add things. I can change. Like I would come in here and add the date. So maybe this is Tuesday the 25th. Okay, whatever that is. I can still manipulate and use this page exactly the way it is. All right. So it's not like having a static PDF background. All right. Let's get rid of templates. And now we have our weekly template up here at the top. And then we have all of our weeks down below. Okay. All right. So from the very beginning, at the beginning of the year, I went through and showed you taking a blank notebook and how to build all of the things that you might want to have on your weekly page. A space for your days of the week, a space for your meals, a space for your projects, your to-do list, all of those kinds of things. Okay. I even added something on my to-do list here. I added a little section for completed tasks. And the reason that I did that is because I want to be able to, in 2023, if I finished a task, I would simply highlight it or mark through it or something like that to designate that it was done. So let's say I have something like walk the dog. What I can do is I can grab that and highlight it, and I can just drag it down to the completed box down here at the bottom. Okay, so I will know what's left to do is up here and the things I've completed are down there. Is that going to work for me? I don't know. I'm just trying it. It's something new, something different to try for 2024 and start in the month of January and see how I like it. Okay? All right, so I hope this answers a lot of y'all's questions about how do I build these pages to look the way that they do. It's simply using tables and manipulating tables in many different ways to get them to look the way that you want them to look. If I were to do a flip through of last year's planner, you would see that there are boxes and tables all over the place, and I play around usually each month with the way that I want the format to look. Okay? All right, well, I hope you'll give it a try, setting up a weekly page for yourself and playing around with some of these tables and nesting tables inside of tables. It's quite fun, okay? All right, again, if you've learned anything or you've liked this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or would like to share your excitement about using OneNote. I love reading your comments and answering your questions. And here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.